Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
You didn't hear that because I was muted. I wish there was an automatically, like a default unmute you would think would be normal to not, like, so no one cares. Maybe 3 of you do who might be producing your own space or show. But what happens is when I go live, the intro video plays, it mutes me automatically. And then like 90% of the time after the intro, it unmutes me like you would think. The other 10% of the time, it just leaves me on mute, and I don't notice it until someone in the chat lets me know. So Mike and Briss and Zane and Thomas. Actually, maybe I start doing this. Maybe I'll if it doesn't automatically mute me, maybe I'll mute myself on purpose just to drive those, just to engagement farm the chat. I kid, but yeah, appreciate everyone over there who advised me that we were muted and no audio coming through on YouTube. Yeah, Zane's gonna lip read and mouth everything to see what's going on. I won't run back the whole intro there, but TLDR is really enjoyed yesterday's show. Have not made my first purchase on Panini blockchain, but am looking forward to it. It's on my to-do list. And we'll be having that team back on here in the near future to do a deeper dive, team and active community members. But yeah, really enjoyed the show. Reminder, also shout out to Doodlist for joining us, impromptu. Reminder that Doodle Mint, the collaboration mint, goes live today at noon Eastern, I think. I'll double check here in a bit. But yeah, I was just saying buy Fartcoin, buy Hyperliquid, and more. We'll get into markets, a little bit of sell-off after notorious KOL Arthur Hayes said he's buying and holding Hyperliquid till 150 and near, built a big thesis on near and hyper. What is happening? Hans, thank you very much for the tip. Tips are back on Abstract. They were not, I mean, the tips were there. The transactions were still going through, but the showing up on the screen and in the chat was not giving proper credit to the tippers. And now we are. Also, I'm going to share this in the war room with Zane because we might have another thumbnail on where the screen froze on the Abstract feed. The play button is in the way, but you'll get the point. But before we get into all serious stuff and talk about wrong link. Talk about all things happening as well as our guest joining us here at 9. Congrats to the Knicks. They deserve the win. Good game 1, and not. I don't know. Like it was. I didn't watch the game as you might. Yeah. So Zane already got it. Zane knew exactly what I was talking about. It did freeze up, and he got it where the play button wasn't in the way. Good catch on that one. I don't even know what I was making that face in regards to, but here we are. I look like, actually, can't make this up. Might be the same face I make, Von Frunten. If you know, you know. Getting myself in trouble this morning, but I'm at a loss for words. Rarely happens, but I actually am at a loss for words this morning because our not the algo, but the war room algo is my face that locked on Abstract is very similar, eerily similar to the face he just shared of Greg Popovich last night, and perfect segue into my cold open material. Yes, how about them Knicks? I will say this, Brunson. I don't know how he does it, but he just has it's like a magical touch around it. It doesn't look great, and he's not an imposing, intimidating figure, probably about my size and maybe an inch taller than me, and we probably weigh about the same, and he just finds a way to make the ball go in the net. He got to give credit where credit is due, and my one question, and who am I to Monday Morning Quarterback? I know it's very easy. GM Kurt Kobang Bang, appreciate the repost. GM Mario and everyone else. I guess apparently it locked that face locked on all screens, not just Abstract, but it was on YouTube as well per Absolute Zero. So I'm trying to not lose my train of thought here, but my brain is going in other directions. So I'm going to bring it back to basketball real briefly, quick cold open, and again, easy for me to Monday morning, or I guess in this case, Thursday morning quarterback. I'm not an NBA coach, and you got to give Theon, what are they calling him now? Leon Musk credit for the job he's done with this young Spurs team this year. I just, for the life of me, can't comprehend why he gave Fox so much run, like 38 minutes, including almost all the fourth quarter. The guy's still on a bum ankle. I think even admittedly is not 100%. He's, they just beat the Thunder. I guess you say upset the Thunder without Fox playing a single minute. And now you're in the finals, and it's okay to give him some run if he's like playing back into game shape. But I just, like, Dylan Harper was on a heater having a game. And I think I saw in the fourth quarter, like, Fox got like 11 and a half minutes, almost played the whole entire fourth quarter on a bum ankle. not playing good. Like he had more turnovers and fouls than he did points scored. He was getting torched by Brunson. Makes sense on a bum ankle. And the younger, healthy Harper, who was having a game, played like 3 minutes. It just makes no sense. Again, not taking any credit away from the Knicks. I thought it was. I watched the replay this morning. Like the condensed game. Which, by the way, if anything's going to get me to actually fully shift over to YouTube Premium, it might be watching these condensed games. I think I saw as many Sonic, the fast food restaurant Sonic. I think I saw as many Sonic commercials time-wise as I did the game itself. But it was watching the replay, and I see the Spurs go up 10-11, I think, in the first half, and Brunson goes to the locker room with an injury. I'm like, oh, it's you would think it's over, and they battled back. Brunson came back. Yeah, good one, Iceman. I just well played. Got to give it to him, and I don't know. I don't understand why play a guy who's not 100% over a youngster who looked a lot better. Who knows? He says not Knicks and 6, not just because it rhymes. I think Spurs got to win game 2 now. They got to win game 2. Knicks have already stole home court advantage, so Spurs got to win game 2. If Spurs don't win game 2, they may not make it to 6 games. I can't. Part of it's like I can't. It doesn't make sense. Like the Knicks are standing on their head. I think this is their 12th win in a row. They look incredible, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean. Like they're just not. They don't like. No one really like. Yes, Brunson is really good. He's just not. Like if you list the top 5 players in the NBA, I don't think Brunson makes the list. Top 10 maybe. And they're playing really well as a team. I think I saw someone make the analogy that like this is the power of friendship, because they're all really close friends. I think they all played college ball together. You got a guy like Josh Hart who was plus 22, had an incredible game and scored like 3 points. It's like it was like a Rodman-esque game where he had I think 15 boards, had a bunch of assists, some steals, block, and scored 3 points, but yet was the MVP, not named Jalen Brunson. Anyways, that's probably enough basketball. I hope if Harper isn't healthy, I hope that if Fox isn't fully healthy, I hope they don't have the same. I hope they give Harper some more run in game 2, but we shall see. I'm reading a comment that Diablito made, shared a post from Crypto Yes No. It's my first time seeing it. Says I've been seeing some spicy, sarcastic posts about being a 21 OG ape after Figgy mentioned benefits and priorities for long-time holders that included limited edition cigar box. Now, I'm not some Web3 professor with laser eyes and 47 wallets, but I did run a pretty large organization back in the day and now run my company. So let me give you a real-life perspective. Most people won't mention in business. I actually almost never worried about my OG employees leaving. I appreciate them, reward them, and trust them, but my real retention concern is usually the newer talent. Why? Because the new blood brings fresh ideas, new energy, different connections, different mindset. Meanwhile, the OGs are usually chilling, comfortable, and not rage quitting over a free lunch coupon. But of course, OG employees often get better perks, bonuses, package, and priority treatment, kind of like the Scarbox thing, because loyalty matters. There's also a fine line between rewarding loyalty and accidentally making new people feel like they joined a party after the pizza was long gone. And honestly, from that psychological perspective, Web3 communities aren't that different. Yes, newer holders weren't here 5 years ago, true, but also new holders didn't mint a ape for peanuts and watch it do a casual 100 ETH moon mission either. Some OGs are sitting on life-changing profits since mint, while newer holders are holding stronger through losses than OGs ever had to. I guess if you're talking actual losses, but anyone who minted or was an OG, they've round tripped as big as gains or bigger than anyone, at least on paper. So being OG shouldn't automatically come with superiority complex or acting like newer holders are tourists to the club. I don't see anyone acting like that. If so, let me know who. I'll have a conversation with them. I see, in fact, the very opposite of that. I see people like Dort and Marav and Lal Basal have been around for a long time, or at the very beginning. Some of the most, they're spearheading welcome apes. They're leading the welcome party. I strongly disagree with the take there. And I'm not saying there might be some bad apples. I don't know who they are. Any of the OGs that are still around, from my perspective, can't think of a single bad apple. There's some scammers, some grifters, someone who's gotten way too much attention recently, who got gifted an ape and is just not indicative of the club and the club members in any way, shape, or form. Bot followers, bot spaces, et cetera, and just is like wringing every last drop of engagement farming they can out of a free ape, instead of just selling and taking their 20K and moving on. I think I saw someone say they think it's a psyop spearheaded by bin.eth, and the tension between those two is just fabricated, and I think there's probably some merit in that. Can you bring this up for just a second? Yeah. Feel free to bring up other games. I will. We got Bored Ape Yacht Club versus Klanos. I'll pin that up top. And yeah, if you want to talk about it, you're more than welcome. GM Zonko, GM Iceman, GM Izzy. We got Knicks fans in the chat today. They're out and about. All that being said, in a weird way, I feel surprisingly good about this market, which I know doesn't make any sense if you're thinking about current price action, but I do feel pretty good about the current state of things. And I'm trying to get like my feelings, my thoughts. I need to actually spend some time like wordsmithing it, and like, because it doesn't, as I said earlier, I was joking about being a loss for words over the chat. It's not that I'm a loss for words. It's rather thinking about how to best describe how I feel. Now, am I going out and buying Bitcoin here or ETH here? Probably not. I think it's very possible we could go lower before it goes higher, but for as bad as something as majors are, I mean, just quick market update: Bitcoin's down to 62, ETH down to 1750. Both those are down over 6% on the day. BNB down 6%, XRP down 6%, Solana down 8%, $68. But it did go back above Hyperliquid, because Hyperliquid's down 8% on the day. Hyperliquid was that sell-off, as well as the near sell-off led by Arthur Hayes, who it's unfortunate that we have such influential people, such, I guess, leaders who, anyone's free to sell. There's no sell shaming, but it's just like, when you have a following, when you have people that copy trade or tail you, like, I'll just say at best, it's really poor form to bull post something saying you're buying and holding something to 150, in this case, hype. And then while you're doing that, while you're publicly calling for a price target, selling on the back end, or proceeding to just dump your entire bag. It's just, and that is not going to bring new people in the space. It's certainly, maybe people found their way to the space, and you just drove them out of the space. And I'm not saying this is just another post. I'm not saying all this to be true. I don't know it to be true. I'm just reading another post by someone. Cue the Arthur Hayes playbook: buy some spot, gives a public call for a price target, coordinates with private group chat to sell. Bonus is participants play shorts while dumping, tweet about the sale, and then plan to release an article about it. At the same, it was quote tweeting Markets Alpha. It says, at the same time that Arthur Hayes started selling, another entity related to Andrew Kang sold 120,000 hype, about $8 million worth, in less than 30 minutes, pushing the hype price down 5%. The entity already finished selling that stack, but Arthur Hayes, through Flowdesk, is still selling through a slow twop. He already has 165,000 hype left. And then just 5 minutes ago, another interesting participant appeared, ABRKN Andreas, founder of SideShift AI, also started selling 50K hype. At the same time, Hyperliquid Strategies, Hype Strat, is T-whopping more than 10 million through Anchorage. Here's Arthur's selling wallet and the related Andrew Kang wallet and the Andreas wallet. I'll pin this up top if anyone wants to dive deeper. Again, I'm not saying this. I would need to do a lot more research for that. I'm not necessarily an on-chain detective, but it is, again, anyone can sell. Maybe you're presented with new information that changes your mind. All that's fair. What is, if you're, I'm not going to claim to have near the clout or following or size as someone like Arthur. And I've changed my mind, but I'll often, if not always, telegraph that. I will talk about moves openly. And again, my what I'm doing is not going to move any markets. But if I change my mind, like, release your article before you dump your bag. And are others going to front run you? Yeah, but it's just really, really bad look for people who presumably don't need the money. They've done very well. And yeah, I don't know. It's just that part, and hearing cabal is going to cabal, I guess, but why? People should stop copy trading talking heads. I agree wholeheartedly. And but the reality is people do. And these talking heads know this. They know people copy trade them. It's like this sort of activity, like in 21, 22, people would get like drug over the coals for doing this. And now it's like, we just brush it off. Oh, it's just another day. It just happens. That original post said that, in some regions, some municipalities, this, would be, deserve jail time. I don't know if it's that deep. I don't know if that's the case, but it's bad for crypto PR. It's bad for those who, copy trade someone based on what they say, and then they do something completely different. Just, we need, maybe we don't, but I think it would be helpful to have a new main character or two, someone that's not Tom Lee or Michael Saylor, who I'm not even talking about their bags being down. They're just both very like corporate, like I think be beneficial to have someone more in the trenches. I'm not saying that they're not active crypto participants. They obviously are active crypto participants, but like, who even is that now? Who's on the short list? Like, I don't know, like, and like, who are the, I think right now, from in my limited view, like the best, a great main character who doesn't act like a main character in the sense that, like, they're not looking for the attention, I don't feel, is someone like Figgy. And I'm grateful he's been given the reins and leading the club, and I think how he's moving and how he's got that team to move is awesome. It's really exciting. But the reality is, because it's the Bored Ape Yacht Club, because it's Yuga, I don't know as if it'll, like, unless something changes and Yuga and the Bored Ape Yacht Club gets back in like the main zeitgeist, the main of in this small weird space. I don't know as if that'll have the impact across crypto Twitter. But on the flip side, I think that's partially why, despite this awful price action, that I remain optimistic, is because I'm seeing more of what made the space so fun and exciting in 21, 22, specifically, I guess, it relates to not just the NFT PFP world, but like, the excitement we heard yesterday from Spinotron and the Panini NFTs, and what we're seeing, the excitement around Pokemon and you know, all the collectibles for that matter, with BZ and these claw pools and gotcha machines. Like there's some real excitement, momentum there. That's not phased by what majors are doing. I also came to realize this morning that we are in a extended lull in the sense of new exciting stuff. It hit me when there was a Serpent post who says, Coinbase comes out and acquires, they acquired Echo from Kobe and made a whole big deal about that. And when they did it, they announced they intended to have monthly ICOs. Monthly. This is what they said. And not only did they say they're going to do monthly ICOs, but they said, we will take into consideration, the first one was Monad in November. And they said, we'll take into consideration for our monthly ICOs, if you are, if you insta dump your Monad allocation, that'll ding you. If you hold it for 30 days or longer, that'll help you get, help your chances of more or future allocations for future ICOs. So a lot of people, myself included, no, I didn't. It wasn't. I did have Monad elsewhere, but on Coinbase, I bought $100 worth of Monad at TGE, and I'll have to check. I'm sure it's down from ICO price, but giving, I guess, credit where it is due, like Monad's probably performed as good or better than most other assets since their IPO. It's $75.
0.18 cap.
What's that?
It's about 0.18 cents or
the price. Yeah. So it's $75. Yeah. I got 4,000 Monad for $100. I put into that ICO, and the whole, I wasn't, again, I sold all my other Monad, so I wasn't necessarily bullish on Monad. It was rather, well, I want to play the Coinbase ICO game and show that I'm a loyal holder and et cetera, and maybe that led to a big win on the next one. That 4,000 Monad, which I bought for 100, is now $75. So down 25%. But again, relative to a lot of other tokens that have launched, it might be the best performer during that time frame. Coinbase, they launched in November and said they intended to have monthly ICOs. December, nothing. January, nothing. February, nothing. March, nothing. April, nothing. May, nothing. So they launched, we're going to have monthly ICOs. 6 months later, they haven't done another one. Monad's been the only one to launch. Now, I guess, and to give them, credit, is which new tokens do you think Coinbase should have launched, should have hosted the sale for between December and now? Serpent, who the original poster says none. Probably right. I mean, I know it's been a letdown in terms of price action, and they pulled their terminal, but I think Mega ETH had enough motion that you could have justified and I guess they did their own ICO, so it wouldn't have worked. Never mind. But I think this is telling that we're seeing more of, and I'm not trying to get in the brain of Arthur Hayes or any of these other influential accounts on this app. But I think part of the reason we see the Zcash pump and dump and pump and dump and pump and dump, part of the reason we're seeing like things like Near talking about now, and I know they're doing some AI stuff that deserves more credit, but it's an older token. It's been around forever. I think part of the reason we're seeing these older tokens become the ones that the talking heads are pumping and then dumping is because we haven't seen anything new, really, for all intents and purposes. Like 0 ICOs on Coinbase since Monad. And my post was like, this would make more sense if Monad ICO was like the first week of October, and then 10/10 hit, like, oh, we better pump the brakes here. The fact that they did it November and haven't done another one since is kind of wild. I also think it makes you think how critical timing is in this industry. When we see stuff that, like real stuff, I mean, whether you're a fan or not, or whether you're using it or ever used it or not, or you could care less, Mega ETH is very performant. They did launch with, while not, I think, a little letdown from what I was expecting in terms of dApps. They still had a lot of unique, exclusive dApps, and they still do. And it's just not caught a bid. I have to look what Mega ETH is even trading at now. Oh, by the way, we just entered Extreme Fear. You know what? Let's do this. Machiavelli, I will get to you. We'll let you plug your other games thing in a sec. Good time to run a daily market update because I just noticed extreme fear and greed is extreme fear once again. We're at 19. So let's do a quick daily market update. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and then we'll jump back into trending topics and news of the day. This is the market
Coffee
update.
brewing. Yeah, the market's in play, charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain, market update on the way.
Who do you think should be CT's main character? Who would you nominate as the current main character of crypto Twitter? Curious. Let me know in the chat. I'm nominating Zane, and but I'd like to know who you'd like to nominate as the main character for crypto Twitter. And then whoever gets the most votes, we're just going to decide that's going to be our main character. That's going to who we're going to copy trade and give all the attention to over the next few months. But in all seriousness,
Zane too.
Zane, yeah, Zane's got 2 votes. Everyone, let Zane know you want to see him as the main character. Looking at again, fear and greed, extreme fear, number 19. For a while, it's been a while since we've been down here. Maybe we're getting the coffee with Captain Pump. We started the show. I mentioned as I first looked at the charts, we were down 6% on the day. Since I mentioned that, since the show started, we're up 1.23% on Bitcoin, 1.27% on ETH. So the morning coffee pump still has it. By the way, that was not a shit post this morning. If you missed it, I shared the my GM tweet with today's link was a real, I believe, at least I read it on the internet, so I'm believing it's real. I did not have it confirmed or with ChatGPT, but in the Ottoman Empire, which doesn't get enough credit, arguably as impactful as the Roman Empire, but no one thinks about the Ottoman Empire like we think about the Roman Empire every day. Anyways, in the Ottoman Empire, coffee was so essential that women, keep in mind, back in the day, it was much harder to get a divorce than it is in the year 2026. But in the Ottoman Empire, coffee was so essential that women could get a divorce if their husbands failed to provide enough coffee. So not only does it give you the morning pump, as far as markets go, the coffee with Captain Pump, it also can save your marriage. Kind of a true story. Not really, but we're gonna pretend so. Back to this market update, and I actually did hear something on Z, but I don't have anything necessarily to share. I'll have to do a little deeper diving. Not sure what's as far as I know, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think it's still Mega ETH, but good question. I'll have to circle back to that one. Diablito. Looking at this market though, pretty bloody. Everything other than Tether is red. So that's I guess at least we've not depegged. If we're looking for silver lining this morning, Tether and USDC still holding $1. So we are, things could be worse. Things could be worse. But again, Bitcoin, ETH, both down 5%, 63,460. I also saw it lost like something like 14 years of historical support. Not a TA guy, but lost the key support number. Maybe we're back over it with that coffee with Captain Pump. BNB down 5%, XRP down 5%, Solana down 7%, Tron down basically 1%, Hyperliquid down 7%, Doge down 5%, Leo down 1%, Zcash down 11%, Stellar down 10%, Cardano down 11%, as Charles Hawkinson basically said he was done, going to be taking a break. That's the founder of Cardano. I'm still old enough to remember, it wasn't that long ago, we were doing this daily market update on the show, and Cardano was like its own stable coin. It was pegged between like the 80 to 85 cent range. Doesn't seem that long ago. I'm guessing it was pre-1010, but to see it down below 20 cents is pretty wild. It's still, a $7 billion market cap, which is not nothing, but you got to go down a ways to find something that's really green. Meme core is that scam meme coin that always pumps inverted to the market or trades inverted to the market. I'm reaching here. I'm looking for something green. A lot of double digits there. Not pretty. We got some Asian something in Mandarin's up 3.76% of the day. There we go. Siren up 25% of the day. It's a $500 million, I'm guessing, meme coin that just flipped Arbitrum. Beat up 17%. Yeah, I'm way down in the top 100. It is hard to find a real winner on the day, even something that's showing strength on a rough day. So despite all that, I don't know, maybe I'm just the crazy one. Maybe it's the perma bull in me, but I feel like there's some pockets, some things to potentially get excited about, and at least maybe not excited about, but at least worth paying attention to. We shared a couple of these new mints. There has been, I'm going to sort by 1 day volume here. Also red for the most part in the NFT streets. Hyper's down 5%, Apes down 2%, Punks flat down 0.5%, Pudgy's down 1%, Normies down 12 or up 12%. So Normies, one of the, again, a newer mint trading at basically half an ETH, up 12% on the day. Denza's down 11%. Reorder, I think this was Dario Di Siena's collection, I believe. So love to see that. I think it was close to a free mint, and it's trading at 0.0186. NPC, non-player character, 98%. Crypto Dick Butts up 27% after an Elon tweet. I'll go find that here in a minute. But while 27% is exciting, I think saw someone else, like there was something like there's 13 sales of Crypto Dick Butts in 21-22. There would have been like 500 sales following an Elon tweet like that. But yeah, we do. That's what we need. We need Von Front, and that's what we need. We need Zane to finally drop his whiteboard collection, and that's what will save us. That's what will save us. We need that or another Goblin Town or Wreck Guy to save all of our bags here. Nothing has changed from a infrastructure standpoint, a regulatory standpoint. While I believe the Clarity Act is maybe closer than ever before. It's either closer than ever before to actually passing or getting shot down until 2028. But despite, you know what, Mando would make a solid main character. Probably doesn't get enough credit for all that he's built in the space, and can, it's not only is he partners on Wreck Guy, but it's noteworthy what they've done with the casino Yeet, and also a good trader. Seems to be runs pretty good on the trading street in his calls. Alien tech to bring you back in so the alien being can save marriages, maybe so. And Maida says NPC would make for a good character as we head to zero. Yeah, not a bad take either. I'm going to quote Von Frunten here. Says, not everyone cares about bringing people to the space. They earn it for themselves. Not everyone cares about how they're viewed by strangers on X. They could disappear tomorrow. Most of us would forget about them in a week. There's more on-chain activity today with RDBA stables, and you do have companies like Yuga and GBC doing things that fun and look like 2021. However, you also have extreme leverage on tokens that you didn't have in 2021. So sentiment can shift and people don't buy and sell the actual token. They just long or short the token with their USDC, which doesn't reprice. It just shifts wealth to the actual holders or from the actual holders. I do agree. We're in a far different world than 2021. Leverage has played a role in that. There was, I think, upwards of $2 billion liquidated in like a 24-hour period this week. Not great. So as fast as things can move up with leverage, they can unwind. Yeah, I agree. Eddie Crypto's right. Adam Weitzman's the main character. Main character for NFT land. Maybe that's partially why it feels like there's more momentum in NFTs right now relative to the space at large. A lot more momentum in NFTs than there is in any alt, any meme, any majors, other than maybe like Hyperliquid. Or you could, if you like the privacy narrative, Zcash and that. But I think part of what's turned me off on Zcash is it feels like it's the same, the Arthur Hayes playbook we just talked about. I'm not going to name any names. I don't know it to be true. I don't know it factually, but it just feels like that token for moving, one day it'll be up 20%, up 30%, next day it'll be down 20% or down 30%. It's not really had a sustained pump without major pullbacks, and just feels like funny business and feels like a lot of people playing that tired, I'm going to talk about something I'm really bullish on, and just so I can dump on my followers' heads. Bankless. Kidding. It's a joke. Maybe. Let's do this. Let's get, we got about 20 minutes. So our special guest joins us today. We're going to be talking about GameFi, some AI, some cool AI stuff, and it would be a good segue from what Machiavelli is building in the other side as well. So Machiavelli, go ahead and tell us about what you have going on. What is this Klanos versus Bored Ape Yacht Club? What is happening in this head-to-head competition?
Yeah, Cup. The Apes versus the Dino Other Cup is just a community fantasy football competition built around the FIFA World Cup for 2026. Members from both communities create fantasy teams, compete individually for prizes while also contributing their points to like their overall community. The twist will be like the top 20 ape managers and Clano managers will have their scores combined throughout the tournament and the World Cup, with the community battling for like points, leadership positions, bragging rights, and the event is designed to bring the communities together with overall prizes that will be rewarding with winners throughout these key stages. Like, we want people to go to the Clano and BAYC Discords to sign up. We will be, putting out some more material and stuff, but this is essentially a fantasy cup competition. And beyond the fantasy football, the competition will culminate in the other side for the Other Cup Championship with the Apes versus the Dinos, with seeing who emerges victorious out of this towards the end.
So
we'll be talking about it here shortly on the Meet at the Clubhouse as well. Now,
what time is Meet at the Clubhouse today?
It is I believe here it's like at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. My time, 9 o'clock p.m. AM EST.
I'm gonna have to have some words with Figgy. Gonna have to have them bump that back. Gonna have to have him bump that back an hour. I kid, but I'm serious.
No, we also have like another activation that's going to be going live in the other side throughout the World Cup too. Other Games is teaming up with Other Balls. Shout out Dupes. She leads Other Balls. It's a community soccer active event that's like every Saturday in the other side. It's a great time. I believe right now they're in their 4th season, so we will be teaming with her as well for an activation around the World Cup. But this one right here is centered around fantasy football, and then we'll end with a Clanos versus Apes in the other side as well.
So this
just something. Go ahead.
The fantasy competition, though, what is it? Is there going to be like? Is it a video game, or it's like you're betting?
It's literally like you'll go and there's more information in the Discords for each respective side, but you'll go sign up and you'll go draft. You'll get £100 million, and you'll go draft your fantasy team out of all of the players available for the World Cup.
Okay, so it's like a DFS for the World Cup. Is it for the duration of the World Cup or just the qualifying round?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, no, love the collaboration. I'd love to see more collaboration. In this case, it's Apes and Clanos, but in the other side, I think that's great. Let me ask you that. How does, as the fantasy competition, how does the other side come into play? What are they actually doing in the other side?
In the end, so other side's going to be doing this thing where we're going to be doing some, like I said, we're going to be doing a soccer activation for a few weeks there, but like it just culminates with the fantasy competition ending with a in-game soccer match with the Apes versus the Dinos, with the winner getting bragging rights and taking home, quote unquote, the Other Cup. So
there will be a soccer match in the other side.
There will be a final soccer match in the other side.
Got it, sir. Got it. Makes sense. Hey, since we're in man, I don't know what is going on with. Do you see? Like I know they were up there. I saw them earlier. I had like today's space. Obviously, we're live on X Video, X Audio Spaces here. We're live on Abstract, live on YouTube. I pinned all those links up top, and now they appeared. X is just being really, really buggy for me this morning.
Yeah, I'm about to say I see them.
Okay, because none of them were there. Now they're back. But I would ask for some love. I just pinned up a post for tomorrow's show. So if you haven't yet, hit that reminder for tomorrow's show. It is a sponsored post, sponsored interview tomorrow. But anytime I tag a couple accounts, especially I think that paid partnership, I think it also nerfs post. So any love on helping get that, even if you don't want to repost it, just a like, bookmark, comment on the post pinned up top all the way left, it would greatly help me out. If you're not like, if you're not a big baller like Hans and can swing the 500 Pingu tip every day, this would be a greatly appreciated way to tip me today. Would be giving that pin post for tomorrow's sponsored interview, tomorrow's space, some love. Hit the reminder, which is in the first comment on that post, and not often I give you all homework or selfish asks, but that one would be appreciated. Thank you very much in advance. And yeah, and congrats on pulling that together with Klanos, and love to see it. I'd love to see. I didn't want to get into it with Cab on the show yesterday necessarily, or maybe 2 days ago, but not joking, not exaggerating. I think Klanos is like a great example for something like Unvault to go multi-chain. Solana NFTs is, and it's fine. Klanos have done fine, but I think Solana NFTs is kind of, I don't know when people talk about Solana or what people are doing on Solana. I don't see NFTs in the top of the conversation. I do love my Popkins over on Sui, and I think that's one that, like, for instance, if in the hypothetical world where they were working with Unvault and they were live and you could buy and sell those on multiple chains, I would be shocked if you didn't see some during this activation that Machiavelli just shared. I'd be shocked if you didn't see some new entrants, some of those that are very deep and passionate about that Bored Ape Yacht Club community and other side community. I'd be shocked if you didn't see some of them pick up, Klano or Popkins during that activation. Now they still probably will, but I just think like the reducing the friction and making it available on, making it easier to buy and sell this stuff, I think is a win. And we've talked about many times, it's nothing new, but I do think that we're rapidly heading towards a world where we don't really care what chain things are on. It's just like, is it easy to buy and sell? And crediting OpenSea for all that they've done, making cross-chain transactions very, very seamless. But the other added benefit of something like Unvault is protecting, royalty protection, and if they so choose, can share those royalties with their holders. Trying to think what else we get into here before we shift slightly and talk a little more about gaming and GameFi with the team from Intraverse and all that they're building.
Oh, they got great things going on too, Cap.
I know. I listened to the space where they launched the fighting game, and when I talk about like things that here's the other thing of a down market is I genuinely believe this. When majors are down or choppy or down and bleeding, it's a better time for games. Like I found my journey, it was Top Shot and then Zed Run and then Minute Apes. But during that time frame, like the summer of 21, major pullbacks on Bitcoin and ETH. Major, like they're on 30-40% drops. I didn't even care or notice because I was having fun playing Zed. I was racing and breeding horses, and then fast forward to like later in the year where everything was ripping and it wasn't just majors. There was an NFT, multiple NFT mints a day. I stopped paying nearly as much attention to Zed, stopped spending time in the games that took my time and attention. So I do believe that times like this where the market's suppressed, people are looking for what can I do? And unfortunately right now, I think the main on-chain game that a lot of people are playing, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what side you're on, is perps. And I think the benefit of GameFi is, and people spending money on entertainment, is your token price may be down. Maybe you put in $1,000 and a few weeks later you got $800 in assets there. You're not going to get liquidated. It's not going to go to zero during a flash crash like like your leverage long might. Machiavelli, I said I saw you come off mute. Go ahead and get back in here.
Oh, no, my bad. Yeah, just that was it, man. And also, like, these communities got together. They, Andrew and Illa and Baron and all them got together. They proposed this and put it together. So I don't want to take credit or anything like that, but like, we're happy to be helping host the fantasy competition, and then, have this, have the communities come together. I mean, being so many years in this ecosystem, whether it's Solana, whether it's Ethereum, all of that, like, there's just some great communities out here, and this is the way to bring them together, cross-community collab and stuff like that. So happy to be a part of it, and thank you for having me up here, Captain.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. Thanks again for all you do for the community and putting so much time, energy, and building in it. And this is, again, doubling down on my take. Like, there's a lot of this happening right now. It's just not. It is playing in this Klanos Bored Ape Yacht Club fantasy competition and other side activation. Is that going to lead to 1,000x No, most likely not. Maybe there's some grand prize and one person might hit it big. But the reality is it's not. I think if you're here right now and actively participating to grow your portfolio, forget 10x, even 2x right now, it's probably gonna lead to a lot of frustration. You can still click buttons, but just click buttons don't cost as much. Like, you don't have to put as much at risk. You can still participate. And that creates this, flywheel, for lack of a better word, that it's supporting real builders. It's supporting teams like Intraverse, we're going to talk about a little bit. It's supporting teams like Other Side, who are relentlessly building. They're not wavered. And when it's understandable, if everything's ripping and there's a runner of the day, you may not want to necessarily be playing games all day or even a portion of the day. Now I think is a really good time to support those builders, and we'll feature a few of them here on the show. But there really is a lot happening, and I know, yes, it is a sponsored interview tomorrow. Shout out to our friends at Reach, but it is something they're doing things differently. It's a little nerdy, but it's important. I do believe it's a very important infrastructure layer, and a good time to explore new ecosystems, a good time to learn, explore new stuff, play games. And you don't have to be buying spot every day. You certainly don't have to be levering up every day and longing or shorting your favorite or whatever token your least favorite KOL talked about on the timeline. Although if you are, stark reminder to, and I'm in the US, so I can't connect right now, but I will at least show you the chart because I talked about it, and I think I actually even told you my exact take profit number. I opened up a VVV long about right here, and it almost immediately sold off, and it was down. I thought about closing it, but I didn't. Again, my liquidation levels weren't so tight that I could afford a little bit of a dip. I think my liquidation price point was maybe 12. So I had a little bit of room to run. But I kept it open. I wrote it out. It came back up. It hit 20. And then the next day it popped back down, like, oh man, I should have put a take profit level. I should have put I should have put a take profit amount in. And so I did. And I put it in at 20.4, I think it was. Or out right here. Thank goodness, because if not, I'm back down again today. Because it ran up and crashed back down probably while I was sleeping. And just a good reminder to, if you are trading perps, whether you're longing or shorting anything, put your stop losses in, put your take profits in, and things are just so volatile. It's moving so quickly. And this ran up above my take profit number. I don't care. Like, I'd rather take profits here than be still down on a long here today because I was sleeping when it ran up to 22. Again, we're talking I'm not talking 7 or 6 figures, not even talking 5 or, but actually might have been a 4-figure position, but it was like a, $100 to $200 profit. Nothing major, but there's opportunities to book small wins, and you can capitalize on volatility like this. Especially but don't just jump into perps not knowing what you're getting into, because again, had I don't want to say I lucked out. I talked about it. I explained why I was doing it here on the show, and it hit. But had I not done that, I'm down again today after having not one but 2 opportunities to close that thing in the profits. So and maybe that's something else you can explore. Maybe do some paper trading. Maybe I understand when things crash, when we have these sell-offs, we have mass liquidations. I understand how it can really bring people down and flips people from bullish to bearish. I get it. It makes sense. All that being said, we buy dips and we sell rips. It's a lot easier. It makes a lot more sense to buy, not only buying rips and selling dips, but you can buy the fear. You can buy the extreme fear. It doesn't mean it's going to send us into a raging bull market immediately, but you go back and look at that fear and greed chart, and almost, maybe not 100%, but the majority of the time when it gets down to extreme fear, then we see the market bounce. Maybe it doesn't happen this time, but I think it is a good data point that just with all this stuff, I'm obviously not a financial advisor, certainly not your financial advisor. So don't join for that. Just join for some fun, some information, maybe a little bit of education along the way. Learn about some fun new games you can play here in a few minutes. But just don't play with money you can't afford to lose. This is extremely volatile. Make sure you have your buckets filled. S&P 500 is a pretty good bucket to keep full right now. You expand that into some of your favorite AI stock, or I guess Victoria's Secrets, because they're going to change their ticker. Have your fun bucket, have an asymmetrical bucket that you're taking big swings on, or just a budget of what you're going to play with. Just don't put it all in one trade. If you got $1,000 you're going to play in the crypto streets with over the next few months, that's awesome. That's more than most. Just don't put all 1,000 in one trade. Don't go lever up 10x and your liquidation level is something that you can get wiped out in one candle. Like just spread it out. I think it's a good time to get your reps in without having to put, you shouldn't be full porting anything right now. Even if, I'm very bullish hype, but I'm not going to full port it just because Arthur Hayes said he was long to 150. I just like this. We've seen this so many times before, and it's frustrating that those are the main characters we've put on a pedestal for whatever reason. I don't know Arthur personally. I'm sure I'm guessing a fine person. It really kind of, again, no sell shaming, but don't say you're going to do something and then do the exact opposite when people are following you on the trade. I'll end my rant there. Yeah, nice. Peace Frog is the sticker MVP. Peace Frog, appreciate you. That is I don't know what I do to deserve some of these stickers, but it's a unique skill set I have here to make a very absurd, ridiculous face to catch me when the screen freezes. We've got our guests in the green room here. We're going to shift gears. We're going to bring Zoe and Mordred's on here in just a minute, so I can do an uninterrupted interview. We're going to do just a quick coffee break. Don't go anywhere, especially not that other space who's stepping on us in the 9 o'clock time slot. I kid. If you want to go over there, we're not going to simulcast today. We're going to give our guests some undivided attention. Wasn't aware. I missed that they were doing it again at 9 today, but I know they're bringing in. They get a big Asia focus. They got their Asian tour, and I get it. But we'll miss our friends hanging out over there in the clubhouse. Machiavelli, you're not allowed to go anywhere since I let you shill other games. A kid. Quick coffee break. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this, we're going to be talking Intraverse. And again, if you like on-chain gaming, if you like GameFi, if you like AI agents and fighting games, you're definitely not going to miss this one. Some really cool stuff and opportunity to be early and play something that's fun and has, I think, some real momentum and good time in the market to do this. Before we head to this break, though, I'm going to quote Mayhem here. It says, "Perp trading isn't about the leverage; it's about the position size. The multiplier is just part of the equation." Yes, I agree and I disagree. I agree that I disagree that it can be about the leverage, and if you're throttling up too much. Like if you're using 100% of what you have in your perp account, then it's about leverage and you're playing a very, very, very risky game. I don't care what you're trading. It's just one red candle could wipe your entire position out. Not going to be down 20, 30%. If the token drops 20%, you're going to go to zero. And therefore that's why it is somewhat about leverage, but yeah, more so about position size and that lever should be a multiplier. But if you overdo it, this is, if you've never traded perps, like there's a lot of trading games out there. Go play some, understand, but don't play like on 1000x. That's not realistic. Go play some at, use 10x and see how quickly that can move things. It might surprise you. Quick coffee break. We'll be right back. If you haven't yet already, give us some love on today's space. I appreciate all those. They hit that like and repost and comments on the post for tomorrow for the in tomorrow's reminder. But yeah, today's space pinned up top all the way to the right. Go smash that like, repost, drop some comments in the chat demo. Let us know what games you're playing right now on Onchain, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. And yes, this isn't me saying this. This is Zane saying this. If you go to the other space, you're dead to me and Zane. It's not me saying that. That's Zane, our main character for crypto Twitter, at least Coffee with Captain. With that said, without further ado, join me in welcoming Zoe and Mortis to the stage here. GM, appreciate y'all joining us. Apologies, I did not realize, or I wasn't thinking when we scheduled this, that we would be going toe to toe against at the clubhouse. So we might lose some people, but I see the real legends out there. Anyone rocking an ape or mutant that's hanging out in our space today, you get extra bonus points. You're in running for Coffee with Captain Community Member of the Month. Maybe we get you some GameFi tokens or some goodies for supporting us today. Appreciate y'all being there. But in all seriousness, excited to jump into this. I enjoyed the space. I know I wasn't able to participate. I was out. I don't remember what I was doing. I think it was the day I was part of my daughter's graduation gift was getting her new tires and just fixing up her car. So I was out and about and had some background noise. So I wasn't able to join, but I did enjoy the space. I listened into most of it and truly excited about what you're building. That said, before we jump into it, do you mind, for those who might be hearing from you from the first time, do you mind just sharing a little bit of background, introduction, whatever you'd like to share regarding your journey in Web3, your journey working together? Feel free to take whichever direction you'd like, but I think it'd be good to, for those who haven't yet connected with you yet, get a little more background on yourself. Zoe, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having us, and GM everyone. Super happy to be here with you today. Honestly, not a lot of people know about our backgrounds because we were normies before, Web3. Mortis was an engineer. I was an architect. We both met in university like more than 10 years ago. And roughly 10 years ago, we got into Web3, but we kept our Web2 jobs for a couple of years until we decided, that we wanted to establish Intraverse. So from Italy, we moved to Switzerland and we established Intraverse, which became an engagement layer for layer 2s and layer 3s. So basically, Intraverse is known as the home of guilds. We have more than 300 communities, gaming guilds, NFT communities, or any other Web3 guilds, crypto community that wants to join, our tournaments. There are, prize pots and, prizes and leaderboards. And we bring a lot of, activity on chain through these tournaments to a lot of foundations. So we work for more than 20 foundations right now. It's
Wow.
been like 3 years now. It's pretty cool. Yes, and we just launched Gamify.fun.
Awesome. And am I right? And so you get this platform, you get this community of guilds, and then Gamify.fun is like your own homegrown game that's part of there, but it's what you're building is bigger than just your own game. That's just like a I don't know if it's fair to call it a pilot or it's kind of like we talking other side. It's like other side.
MVP,
yeah, other side's a platform, but yet
Yeah.
Yuga's going to build some of their own games and mini games and experiences in the platform. Is that a good analogy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so he gave us a great background, a little bit on both of you there. But Morris, do you mind sharing a little more about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Really happy to be here, and thank you so much. And so I'm in my background exactly in engineering. I work in consulting in Accenture for more than 4 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
I can say a little bit to some people a little bit boring, but I was working in a national luxury innovation group in Milano. So we were working with lots of fashion and luxury brands based in Italy, France, and Switzerland. But most of the luxury brands are versus these countries. And then we get to the rabbit hole of the crypto. I remember I pushed a lot my ex-boss to buy Bitcoin, and I was talking a lot, and at one time he put $50,000 to buy Bitcoin, and crazy enough that then Bitcoin dropped. It was about I think you remember 2022 and dropped, and I remember his children were making fun of him. I was saying that look, the price is going to 16K. you did a mistake. Then the price goes up, but at the end, the crypto is going up and down, and we are still here. I don't know. I need to text to him and say, understand in this deep what his children still are talking to him. but seems that 2021, 22, as we're mentioning, it was about especially about crypto, about NFTs, about on-chain economy. Now a lot of attention, I think most of the attention shifted to AI, and it seems that AI is eating not only softwares, is eating everything. And really enjoyed the first hour of conversation, what we're mentioning. It is really, really interesting.
Yeah, no, well, I guess congrats for convincing your boss to buy Bitcoin at the local top and followed by a dip, and then still having said boss, keeping the job. That's a win. But you guys, you talk about AI is eating everything, and I think one of the things that I appreciate and excites me is where we see a lot of talent. And you two, you're accomplished. You got a great background, great education. You could probably go anywhere and build and raise funds and do your thing. I appreciate that instead of just, oh, you know what, we didn't find the exact product market fit we thought we would, or markets are down. AI is where everyone's heading, and instead of just pivoting out of crypto, I appreciate that you're continuing to build on chain, albeit leveraging AI, bringing AI on chain, working with agents. I pull up the gamified tweet from a few weeks ago, where it's got a good, the good trailer video, teaser video, but just at the highest level, it's an AI fighting arena coming to ApeChain. I know you did the alpha with success. You had a lot of people in there creating avatars. What I think really resonated with me was the building in public approach. Was an alpha launch. You worked with some of your core community members, some of the core ApeChain participants, and it wasn't, well, yes, it was a like a launch space, a launch party, a mint party, whatever you want to call it. I viewed it as like, wow, this is like real alpha testing. Like you were in real time taking feedback, you were getting ideas, and I'm guessing, just based on having heard that and chatted with the two of you, that you've probably already implemented some of that feedback and some of that suggestion. But again, I really appreciate not just what you're building, but how you're building in this space, how you're moving in this space. The fact that you didn't just pick up your and go and pivot into fully into AI. Anything to add to that? Is my read right there? Is that what keeps you building on chain when you see, like, to your point, you see AI kind of eating everything else? Why do you think it's beneficial to stay here and continue to build, bring these AI agents on chain, as opposed to just going and building some Web 2 game with AI?
Yeah, I can take this. So it was a really great thing that you mentioned. So we are 4 years inside this space, gaming side in the Web3. And you remember in 2022, it seems that every game will be on chain. So it was a huge hype, huge investment. But at the end, it didn't work out completely. So there were lots of, failure happened. And we are still here. And interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, we had the call with the VC, which is one of the big, I can say, biggest iGaming VC in Europe. The guy is really famous, and he has, built a couple of companies and listed the companies in the NASDAQ. And he said one thing that it makes me really, thought deeply. He said that what is the most problem that I have with the crypto people, crypto founder, that they are chasing the next shiny things. And he said that how I'm sure that you guys are not going to leave the space, are going to something else. And my response, our response to him was that, look.
Ooh, I did freeze.
Is my bragging?
We're good. You're back.
Yeah.
It very well could be on my end. I don't know. It's been a tech.
No, I think probably it's my end. Yeah, probably it's my end. So I just changed my where I'm. So he said this, why I need to be sure that you guys are not leaving this space, are keeping here. And the thing is, I told him it was just exactly 4 years.
We lost him again.
He's still ragging. It's creating suspense.
It is creating suspense, and I'll say, like, even before he finishes this take here, I hadn't thought about this, but yeah, putting like the investor hat on, especially like how you're building, what you're building, yeah, it would reconfirm any priors. It would instill some additional confidence that, okay, they're not just chasing the new shiny toy. They're not just looking for a quick cash grab or looking to, to, I don't want to say grift, but drift, maybe a better word, drift off the current meta. They're really gonna see their plans through and build something that is might be easier, shorter paths, right? They say, nothing worthwhile is, or anything worthwhile takes some time. And I think building is hard. Building anything is hard. Building on chain is very hard. And we've seen a lot of builders just pick up and leave. And both from the crypto protocols to, a lot of the NFT, PFP collect communities and brands, they just, as soon as things got tough, like, you know what, this didn't work. And even some, I'm not going to name names, I'm going to go back there, but even some that raised tens of millions of dollars and still had a lot of resources left, instead of pivoting within the space, they're just like, you know what, this didn't work. We're going to go do something completely different. And it's just like, it's hard to build a business. Anyone can do what they want. But I think when you're building with a community, when part of what you're building is leveraging not just the capital of your earliest supporters, but that goodwill and that support, and they feel like they're part of something, it leaves a sour taste in not just your investors' mouths, but your earliest supporters. So yeah, it's a great point I hadn't really thought of, that by not pivoting out when everyone is chasing that, it's that in itself is a differentiator. I think we got you back now though. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on, with the office, internet, and so I hopefully, this is stable. No, exactly, what was mentioning, and I think another thing that because Web3 is difficult is because finding a right business model also in the Web3 is really difficult, because people tried a lot of things. So say that let's bring this technology or any use case on chain. I remember when I was in Accenture, we were talking about product passports of the fashion brands, authentication, proof of ownership to bring all these fashion brands on chain. However, sometimes it was lacking of the, technology is great, but it was lacking, most of the startups was lacking the part of the business. And the reason also, another thing I think Web3 is a little bit also difficult, because everything is regarding financial aspects. So every use case or companies that is surviving and growing in the Web3, they have connection with the financials, with the trading, with the speculations. And this is, my let's say, what my thoughts and what I learned a lot in these 4 years. And the reason that we are still continuing, and I said to Zoe, if you go to the AI, we pivot to AI, B2B SaaS AI, that is, everything everybody is doing, probably we need to start from the ground. But right now, we have lots of understanding, and more importantly, lots of connections. We work with lots of these foundations, as Zoe was mentioning. And the reason that, we are still here is that, because of all the support of the community, from our understanding, we are hustlers, and we have a great team, and we want to continue to build and to hustle, but with also the technology, adapting with AI. And the reason that also we made about this, fighting games with the AI, that because the game is coming from a couple of years ago, but we saw that how we can make it more, Web3 friendly, because we know that crypto people don't have so much time, in general, because they are not the real gamers. And the reason that also, lots of games failed, because their target was crypto people. The crypto people was coming and buying NFTs and buying the token, but they were not real user of that game. But what we are here trying to do is that, okay, there is a game that you don't play, your AI is playing, humans are not allowed. You make your AI agents, and then these AI agents try to play within each other. And there is also, we are adding financial aspects, like that if you win the money, even a small stake of the loser. They can be also prediction market. However, how we are building this platform is that is not only this game. We are building this platform as a foundation. So any games can be plugged in, and this LLM can work, that can make people, play between different their agents. So this is a background why we are still inside this space, and what we are building with the this I call it agent arena for the gaming.
Very cool. Yeah, even the tagline, the what is it? The first gaming platform humans aren't allowed to play. And to your point on, as we talked about it, especially when markets start getting hot, it's a lot of people here, they're not gamers. They're here for the crypto side of things. They're here for the financial speculation. Yeah, will some enjoy playing some games? They might. Yeah, they do. I do. But I'm also like I said, I don't know if you caught my earlier story. Like I love Zed Run. I had a lot of fun playing it. But I don't consider myself a gamer. I might fire up, the Xbox and play like a game of FIFA or something once every few months. I might play a game of Fortnite like once every 2 or 3 months. Like I'm not a hardcore gamer. Part of it's just like time. Like I feel now where crypto gaming excited me is I like would feel guilty. Like if I sat down and played a game of FIFA, I feel guilty. And I know I probably shouldn't. I know it's okay to check out and it's, watch a movie or watch a TV show or play a game. But for me, there's just something different about playing a game in my head mentally where it's different than watching a movie or other forms of casual entertainment where there's no financial risk or potential reward. For some reason, for me, if I'm playing a game, I feel like, oh, I should be doing something else where I could actually be making money now. And that's where when I got excited about crypto gaming was, okay, even if I lose, I at least feel like there's an opportunity for financial reward. It's not just purely, and the games I play the most, I don't know, it's not in at least not yet, not international, but I play a lot of it's called best ball, NFL, think like fantasy sports, but it's you draft once and your team's set for the entire year. Well, I've done like hundreds of NFL best ball drafts, and the NFL season doesn't start until August, September. Like it's months away. But I can, as I'm walking my dog, I can justify playing that little simple game, which is just, it's not a graphical game. It's just a game of skill and where I think I have an edge. And even though it's like I'm putting $5 at risk or $25 at risk, that even if I win, I'm not getting that winnings until January. To me, I can justify that more so than playing a game of Fortnite where I have no potential reward. So, and I know that creates challenges. So I'm curious, like, for everything that we just talked about, like the benefits of building Onchain and everything that does exist here, how do you, or how have you evolved? Like, how are you handling the tokenomic side of things? Like for everything I just described, the financialization, which I enjoy and I like, candidly, I think that's been the downfall of a lot of these on-chain games is they've been over hyper financialized, and they, a whale can come in and wreck the game and drive up prices, and then it's not accessible for the masses. I've got some ideas based on, what I think you all are thinking and how you're building based on the launch space, and even just seeing like the numbers of in terms of like it's 2 ape to miniature fighter, right? You're not talking thousands of dollars, but I'm curious, how are you handling the tokenization side, the hyper financialization of things, and to avoid some of the pitfalls that the Zed Runs of the world and the Axie Infinities ran into in the past?
Yeah, no, this is a great question. So we thought about this a lot. So the reason that I think crypto play to earn didn't survive or didn't has a huge run, because you have two types of players or category inside the games. So first of all, you were people, like crypto people, I call them investors, that they don't have so much time, but they want to speculate with the money. They were buying token, they were speculating on NFTs, and they were thinking that, okay, this game, I like the graphic. There can be lots of, gamers over there. So I'm an investor. So if these games, take off, I can make lots of money. On the other side, there are people that we also, deal with them that, unfortunately, or, due to their condition, they don't want to spend money. They want to earn money by their time because they have the time. So this was, I think, the biggest challenge of the play to earn, that they can, we couldn't make a sustainable business that these two people could combine. As you were mentioning, Axie Infinity did that exactly. So there was a people that buying, these NFTs and then renting to the people that they had time, and they could put 8 to 12 hours. And at the end, but people were earning that they were dumping, that token. So I mean, this was I think the biggest things, because all the tokens were going to zero because of this, because you were earning that token and you wanted to sell that token for the living. You wanted to sell that token for the, taking profit. So it was in that kind of economy, it can survive when, the inflow is, bigger than the outflow. So at the beginning, when they create a hype, this can be possible. So the price of token goes up like Axie Infinity. But at some points, people are selling. So the inflow, the expansion, the game was not so big, and this
Like
was not failing. So
I had a team of Axis. Like in the past, you needed like $1,000, and then there was, and I didn't have time to play, but there was a lot of Filipino people, Vietnamese people. They were really poor; they couldn't afford to buy the NFTs. So I was, rev sharing with them. They were my scholars at that time. There was the master and the scholar. Probably a lot of people did that in the past before the collapse of the economy system of Axie. But yeah, it was really common. There are these two types of poor people, but with a lot of time, and then richer people that are, having zero time to play.
I mean, conceptually, I absolutely loved it. Like that was one of the shining examples. Like everyone wants to talk about like the Beeple $69 million sales NFT season. And while yes, it absolutely brought a different set of eyeballs, I think the story is coming out of the Philippines and the thousands of people playing Axie Infinity who were like literally supporting their family. They went from like they started playing this game and they were making more money to support their family than they could in a regular job, and that's exciting. And I think conceptually, I maybe I'm naive, but I think it can still happen, right? And you talk about the idea of scholars, and our friend Bunchu, I remember back at the time he had I don't know how many dozens of maybe over 100 at one point scholars that they were supporting and doing like that was one of the I think just it's one of the really cool things about this on-chain world, crypto gaming, and I'd love to see that at scale again. I'm not trying to like oversimplify it, but Zoe, is it as simple as does it break when new entrants stop coming in? Is it as simple as like you need this constant stream of new players, or are there other ways to keep this thriving circular economy, even if let's say you grow to, I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000 daily active users and it just plateaus there? Can these on-chain economies survive without thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of new players coming into the game?
Well, now we are exploring iGaming, and it's totally different because even with a smaller user base, you can be super sustainable. And in that case, you need to spot the right, customer personas, and you really need few people to make high volume inside, the platform. For example, what we are doing right now in Intraverse is, taking care a lot about the churn rate and the retention, rather than the past that we were focusing a lot on onboarding any community, anyone who wanted to play. And it was, we were more in a experimental and studying phase. And that's why we explored also AI with A-gaming, because it was almost 1 year now that we were taking surveys on our community. And it's exactly how you said earlier, people are super tied to speculation. Most of the people answered with, I just want to feel something when I play, right? So they won't really have that, financial, aspect involved while they are playing a Web3 game, because it's not a game for like fun. Otherwise, people stay like on other platforms like Call of Duties, other games, or even Roblox, for example. And just imagine that Roblox makes less revenue, like I think 4 billion per year, with 10 times the users of stake.com. And stake.com is like making 1 billion more in revenue than Roblox. So they are just focusing on a smaller, amount of people, but they are the people that are in target for that type of, games. And probably Web3 gaming was a failure since 2021, or when it started, because people were trying to build AAA games in an environment where people didn't want to be, entertained in that way, but they just wanted to be financially involved in the game, rather than, having a beautiful user experience or a beautiful user interface. There are projects that raise 30 million, a lot of millions. Like there are projects, some of them even recently failed. I don't want to mention them, but because one of them was also one of our co-investors with Outlier Ventures. So when we got invested by Outlier Ventures, and they raised, an embarrassing amount of millions, but still, their idea, of having games and creating this infrastructure of games was, totally wrong, because they are approaching a target audience that probably they didn't have a chance to study enough. And it was really hard to study our user base, because it's, the Web3 people are very fragmented. As Morty said, mainly there are two types of gamers in Web3, but those are much more fragmented, and we keep every day, studying the behavior of these people, not just by surveys, but also analyzing wallets. And a lot of times, people are undoxed. You cannot reconnect to whose, behavior is that, and so on and so forth. So it's really interesting, more the time, passed, more we got this kind of experience, and we are like experimenting more on different types of games, always involving, the previous communities, and, always, adjusting the trajectory of, Intraverse. That's why probably we survived, because we were always studying a lot while we were building, and we weren't just building for what we thought it was, our dream gaming platform. So yeah, right now, paradoxically, we are generating more volume with less users now than in the past, when we were running, tournaments with thousands and thousands of people. And that's really interesting.
It is interesting. I think it's smart. I mean, not that you guys are doing just fine, not to tell you, how to run your business, but I do believe focusing more on retention and learning, what can you learn from your current user base that's there? They're there already, keeping them, and maybe they're playing more, whether they play more or just the same, just simply like being there. And you got daily active users today, like double, triple down on them and build with them, and I think that hearing that feedback and responding quickly, like I think that's probably much better time and resources spent than going out and trying to bring on new people into on-chain gaming, which I think it is a no-brainer. Especially you talk about iGaming, and I don't know, these numbers could be somewhat accurate, not totally accurate, but I think they're relatively accurate. This is courtesy of Claude on the global. You talk about iGaming. I think, for one, you talk about AAA games. Even if there was people here that were excited about that and wanted to see the fancy, graphical interface, we just don't have the patience. Like, very few. It's why big respect to Yuga and continuing to build on other side, because most people aren't going to have a month of patience, 30, 45 days of patience, let alone 4 or 5 years. It's to build something from the jump. It's going to take so long to build those AAA games. You're going to lose your momentum. You're going to lose your user base. Whereas like iGaming, the simple, fun to play games like that, leaning into this casino culture, this good, bad, or indifferent, the degeneracy culture that is perpetuating maybe not every society, but throughout the US, it's seems to be up only. It may not be the healthiest thing for the younger generation, but it is what it is. And the industry at large, I just had to check. I knew it was big, kind of blowing my mind. It first blew my mind when I saw how much bigger it was in the US than sports books, than things like I came from daily fantasy sports prior to NFTs and crypto, and thought that was huge. And then they started talking about some iGaming. I was like, there's no way this many people are playing online blackjack or online slot machines. Just it blew my mind. But the global iGaming market, $115 billion in 2026, up 12% year over year. The total market, including platform and infrastructure, is estimated 110 to 130 billion, and it's growing like double-digit CAGR, projected to reach 186 billion by 2029. That's a 12% compound annual growth rate. The U.S. market, just by itself, a bit more nuanced, because iGaming, online casino, is still only legal in a handful of states. I think it's 6, maybe. Sports betting much more widely legal, but online casino, despite only being available in a few states, still at 8.1 billion market from 6 states. Where the combined U.S. gambling market, our online gambling market, 6.9 billion, and also projected again double digit growth. Like, it's already huge. It's growing at a crazy clip, and at least here in the U.S., like, it's only legal in 6 states. So like this, and why I think it seems inevitable that it's just a better product on chain is because you can prove that it's fair. Like, the reason I always puzzled me, I had no interest in playing like online blackjack or on, because like, how do I know? I just, it always felt scammy to me. Well, like, how do I know that, those odds are real, or are they just lying to me and no one ever wins? Or the people who win, it's like some KOL they're paying and they're going to, flip the switch on the back end to make sure they hit a big jackpot. Like, but bring it on chain, you can prove it's fair. You can show its transparency. Does that fit in kind of like with your thesis of why this makes more sense on chain? And I guess to that, I should ask, like, what are you doing to, whether it's the platform, whether it's Intraverse or specific to the AI fighting, like how are you, I guess, quote unquote, proving that it's fair?
Yeah, no, this is a really great question. So exactly, the iGaming is really huge. And I think if I'm not wrong, the whole gambling market, also physical, retail, I mean, even you go to the, like Las Vegas or anything, I think is a market between 500 to $700 billion, per year. And just the iGaming is about 150, the online part. And there is also non-regulated part, which is, crypto one, that they say it is about 60 to $100 billion market per year. And you can maybe ask from the cloud. It is, the market is huge. And it is growing. I was one of my ex-colleague here is working with Lottomatica. Nobody knows Lottomatica is one of the biggest, two biggest players of Italy. And just in Italy, these guys, last year they make 1.7 billion just as a revenue, and just one player. This year, the first Q1 they make 650, million. So this year they make about 25% growth to the last year. And this year they will surpass about 2.5 billion. I'm talking about one player in Italy. I'm not talking about other players, because there are lots of other players, and they are both iGaming, online, and also retail. They have lots of stores. And regarding how we are doing it fair, this is another anecdote. So we are using a technology called ZK Proof, which is done by Horizon Lab. So all of our games are probably fair. So we are not, it's not a black box. When you start a game, it is, creating this kind of, certificate completely on chain. And we are using the technology of Horizon Lab. Horizon Lab, for the people, for the ape community, they're the same team that they built the ape chain on Arbitrum. And we are using the technology, and we we have also Rob Viglione, which is the CEO and of the Horizon Lab, as one of our angel investors. And he believes in us. He's really great guy, and he's coming also to Italy I think in a couple of weeks, and we are going to meet him. So this is what we are building. And regarding the AI fighters, is exactly we are trying to do it. It's completely transparent. So I mean, we should be, I think what we need to do, to be super honest, when I talk with the team, we need, of course, to take care of on-chain infrastructure. But on the other side, we should not, only look for the, on-chain and crypto people. The reason, I just give you a number. Stake.com, 2024, they make about 4.7 billion in revenue, about $80 billion in the total wagering volume. And why I think you see that stake.com start to grow, even if we were bear market or bull market, because they start as a crypto casino, but then they expanded, and they don't, they are not only crypto, they're accepting everything. So they are having the whole market on their platform. And this is what we are building. So this the game that you see. It is the fighting games. But during the World Cup, there will be also another game, which is the AI footballer that's coming to the platform. So people will prompt your footballer, and you can see that two characters mostly playing and to make a goal.
Fun. Yeah, 1 in a million in the chat says, I think it's a great analogy. Says. Actually laugh when they explain that. It's so genius to have someone play a game, but only with their AI agent playing the game. Fantasy sports for gamers. As someone who, again, deep into that fantasy sports realm, it is like that. That's spot on. It's like you can play the game without having to play the game and build your character. And let's do that. I do want to get into it. So I don't know if Moritz or Zoe, if you want to talk a little bit about, I mean, I'm sure we'll still continue high level, but tell us about AI fighting, what this is all about. I'll share here on the screen for those of you that are watching the video feed. You can see there's a example fight happening here, but it's, you know, I don't want to steal your thunder, but at the highest level, you're using AI. You got a custom LLM where you're building your agent. So it's not just a roll of the dice. It's not just random. Like you are quote unquote playing the game because you're creating this character. You're telling them how to fight, what to do. You can see her start with their look, personality, then fighting style, signature moves, anything the generator should avoid. And then that's going in the one participating. But tell us, what else do we need to know about AI fighting?
Yeah, so you want to share your screen? Yeah, and then
I was wondering if I can screen share gamify that fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I was sharing there, but I didn't. Let me remove mine, and you should be able to share. If the share's not working, maybe I had the wrong view on. So there. I mean, feel free to take over if it'll let you present with the icon down there in the bottom right, and then I can stop. I'll stop sharing and then see if it'll let you do it. If not, I can bring it back up and you can talk us through it.
Let me check. I think you guys can see my screen right now.
There we go. Yep, we got it.
That's perfect. So we are deploying a new version after the closed alpha. And I really want to thank each and every one of the people that were supporting us, because it was immensely helpful for debugging and stress testing the platform. As you said earlier, we have this very lean approach where we build with community. And so right now you can prompt your agent and you can connect it with any of the communities that are going to participate. Right now in the closed alpha, we had really few of them. Because we wanted just to test the platform, so we didn't upload all the characters, all the avatars. I can spoil maybe that I use other AIs like tools to create a good prompt, because you have 500 words and you can prompt your agent basically using 500 parameters, you know, there are kicking, punching, and many others that this LLM is using to generate your agent, your fighter. And then there is another LLM judging how good is that fighter. So we don't have, you know, a secret sauce to make, you know, the best agent ever. And we ask even help, you know, from ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, everything. We are really testing everything to generate the strongest one. So far, Mortis has the strongest one. I can't beat him. And I don't even.
So maybe you can fire up one, no?
And also just interject real quick, just so I'm tracking there. Like, even if you wanted to create like an overpowered character, you don't know how to, right? Because it's if I understood that, you're an LLM is creating the agent based on your prompts, and then it's a separate LLM is the one that's determining how good it is, how powerful it is. It's not you two plugging into the code. Hey, this is, you know, a character that, you know, has long legs and kicks hard is going to be the best. Like, you're not doing that. It's another LLM that's deciding. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so how does it work? Is that, you know, when you make a prompt and there is an LLM that judge your prompt, and based on the game, for example, this game is 500 parameters. So you say that, okay, this is the, you know, prompt, how good it is, what is the characteristic, and then try to fill all these 500 parameters based on your prompt. And I would say that there will be a learning curve of prompting learning curve. So when maybe if you're lucky for the first time, your character is really good, but in order to make a really, really good characters, I tried, you know, I make, you know, 5 or, you know, 6, more than even 5 or 6 prompt to make mine. So this is, you know, how it is working. And as I was mentioning, exactly, this is the system that can work on any other game that we will put also inside this platform. So this is the first game is, you know, fighting games. So right now it is, you know, we are seeing that, you know, there is a, you know, live one that is happening, you know, this is processing, and, you know, probably, you know, we will see a live fight, you know, coming in couple of minutes. So Yeah, so if you go to the left, I think you need to click it. You need to click it on the,
Yeah,
on
I
the left
wanted to
of
show
live.
you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Go.
wanted to show how to forge an agent, and you can pick, whichever community you want. There are also, KOLs or, other apes that want to, bring their avatar inside the game, and you pick whichever community, you name your agent. I will call it, soy. I think there is already a soy agent somewhere. And then it's creating the agent. Here you can see the AI cooking. And then as soon as your agent is ready, you can mint it and you can click on mint. And anytime you mint an agent, it's about 2 apes. So roughly, $1. And you can actually have with one mint 4 matches included, and it will go automatically on fight with other people waiting for a fight. So you will see pretty much instantly your fighter having a fight with somebody else. We are working also to do a PvP, so you can actually choose your opponent. And this is pretty cool. We were building these mostly with AI, for AI agents, and the speculative, part is very relevant because a lot of people can, win and lose their stake anytime, you are playing. You are staking, some money, like some cents, and if your opponent is stronger, they are getting your stake, or vice versa. And people also can like bet on top. So there is this component of prediction market, and if there's a fight between two strong fighters, you can actually gamble on top of that. And okay, my transaction failed because I don't have any more ApeCoin probably on this wallet, like I was testing it so many times. But this led us to create like a tool that is meant for creators, and we didn't really speak out loud about this tool, but it's like something that is going pretty viral, and the very first people that used this tool was the Cool Cuts. So we created the game of Cool Cuts thanks to superstake.fun, which is AI driven always, and you basically prompt your game, and in few clicks you go live with your own game. And I can also show it to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So to give a context, we have this product called Gamify, which is the agent versus agent. It is a
Yeah.
real, let's say, is a game that agents, let's in the fighting game, they are versus each other. However, we were talking about iGaming, and we were saying that okay, we start to explore on that and the ape chain and the other chains, and we said that how we can, bring AI to building the game. And right now, today, we are releasing this AI studio that anyone can build their own real money game. And so probably if you go to this is our AI studio, so and the super stake. So how you can just prompt them and fire up a game in a really few. So I leave it to you.
Let's make the game for Chris. Like, let's say it's Chris' game. Do you have any favorite animal, color, whatever you want your game about?
Let's make it a. Can we do some sort of like mini sports game with bulls and bears, like bulls versus bears?
Yeah, of course. I want a game about bulls and bears. And do you have any like other characteristic, like colors or whatever? Really, you can even add references, links to your social media.
Well, I know you said you got a football game coming. Let's keep it with the World Cup kicking off here soon. Let's keep it football or soccer themed, and maybe like a simple like a penalty shot type game where you've got you're just trying to simply shoot, get the ball past the goalie.
Let me see. I think in the V0, this is deployed for the V0, I guess. So we have, a certain amount of
Okay.
templates that are customizing, but I don't know if we are out yet with the.
Is this?
football.
I know you said Cool Cats. Is this so like in addition to the themes and the templates, are they able to upload their own images and their own characters? Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
This
you
just
can
makes so much more sense for, especially I guess the NFT PFP realm. Some maybe what they're building is a game, but for most it was like, what can we do to keep our community engaged? And we saw so many of them attempt games, and it just wasn't their core competency. Or to your point, they raise millions of dollars and burn it on some game that no one played. I think working with someone like yourselves and Superstake here to build mini games, fun interactive games. I know we're going this one on. We'll do the blue. Would be my choice. I know we're doing Bulls versus Bears, but I think this is. I'm just trying to think like what sort of like fun mini game can we create? Coffee theme for the Coffee with Captain community. We do. We work with Beezy, and we do a weekly claw pool for on the live stream, and someone can win the Beezy prize there. I'm thinking out loud, like what can we do not just for the community, but might be a fun live segment like this. Just like I'm not going to go hire a bunch of game devs to build out something because it's not a. Speaking for myself, and I think a lot of NFT PFE community, it's not going to be our main revenue driver. More so of a utility in the sense of it's something for our community to do, something to drive engagement and participation. And I think a lot would have been far better off to work within something like this with your studio as opposed to try to go out and build their own game.
Yeah, totally. It's the coffee is very interesting to engage the community. Also, Cool Cats at the beginning did that to engage better the community. We are now helping them, to distribute. Of course, they made during the launch more revenue with the game rather than their secondary market of their collection. So it's a great way to engage, your community that has, maybe lost a little bit, the connection with the collection. Okay, it generated just the bull and not the bear, but you said you want the blue team. You can continue and
So this is how does it work is that we
Yeah.
have right now this is V0 that we did it bootstrapping. We have a certain number of games, really simple games, real money games, and you can customize it with the completely prompt. You can change completely the theme of the game, changing the name, put your X, put your Telegram or any community, and start to publish it. And when it is publish it, it goes you can change all the logos, everything. And then you can on the back end I can just let's say approve this game, but right now you can preview the game and start to play the game. So this is one of the games.
I just lost. But yeah,
I mean,
these are the
not
main
knocking anyone else, but I've seen some games that look pretty similar to this. That was like earlier today I was talking about Monad. I think like a similar game like this was basically Monad's #1 DApp for their first month or so of launch. I can only imagine what how much these those companies spent, and but the whole idea being these fun, simple mini games is it makes sense here. Like it's going to work far better than the AAA game example.
Yeah, we decided to roll back to templates and make the characteristic, like the mechanics of the gaming prompting a little bit better, because most of the creators have no idea how to create a game and they don't know which mechanics they would like. So let's say especially the streamers, they love to hear what they have to do in order to build the game, and templates are a great way to kick off their game. But we want also those creators that want to launch their game like you just prompted, like I want a football team game, and I want these characters, and I want these mechanics, and I want these to happen in inside. And of course we are adapting that on top of the smart contract related to it. And this is having a great potential, honestly, because the distribution through creators is incredibly good. We have also our distribution through Intraverse, which is distributing like a distribution channel, and it's all revenue shared. So we don't ask to the creator anything up front, and the creator is immediately convinced to use the tool because don't have anything to risk at the end of the day. Like they can try and see if it works, and if it works, we do revenue sharing. Usually it's a 70-30, 60-40, and it depends how much they put
So
effort.
sorry, I think sorry to interrupting, but now you put the game, I publish it. So if you go to superstake.fun, to the main page, the game is already published there, and just as an experiment. And because I want to show also that the part of that Chris was mentioning, these games are not a black box. So everything is on chain, and it is probability fair. So if you go a little bit of down, I think in the second row on the right, probably you need to refresh, because I see it on my side. Yeah, so if you refresh, you should be able to see the game, and hopefully I can see at least. So I don't know if you cannot see. Okay, no, you don't.
Maybe on the bottom.
If you want, I can also do it. Maybe probably you need to.
Hard refresh.
So while you're doing this, if someone, let's say it is another NFT PFP brand, and they're looking for some fun community games, is this all self-serve? Do they need to reach out to one of you to get started? Like what's that onboarding process look like?
This is completely self-served. So the first version, if you go to Superstake right now, we announced it today, /studio, you can see it. So right now also you don't need any credits, everything is for free. And then when you just publish it, we just review the game to see that if it is, the game is over there or not, to just understand, if, maybe there is not so many, bad images over there. And then, when they start to distribute, we give, 50% of all the revenue of the game back to the, creator. And of course, the rest of 50% that we have as a platform, we use as an incentives, we give points, we have the leaderboards, anything, that we are, serving that.
Nice.
Maybe Marcus, you can screen share it because I cannot see it.
Yeah, I can do it right now. Let me just, if you can stop the screen sharing.
Okay.
There you go.
I think I've done it.
So let me just, so it was on the main screen. If you go to the main screen, superstake.fun, I think you can see the Chris game. So I choose the Blade Runner. So and as I was mentioning, when I start the game, so we have the stake. You can play the game directly with the crypto, or you can get the Superstake credits. Credits is that you can send any token and they become credits. So when you start the game, you see that it will be fire up the very ZK proof. So how does it work? It said that it's the blockchain randomness. You have your unique proof ID that it is on your browser. It is hidden during the game, but I cannot unreveal it during the game, and it is fully verifiable on chain. So we have also the documentation. How does it work? So you can here start to play the game. It's like a chicken cross, really easy game. Every time you move fast, you move forward, you can always try to cash out. And in order to understand if this game is fair or not, you can go to your profile, you can go to your stats and see your game here, and see that it also generated the proof for you, and you can view it. Everything is completely on chain. As I was mentioning, we are using the technology of the ZK proof of the Horizon Lab.
Very, very impressive. And like I said, I'm not just blowing smoke or glazing you, because it's just like, no one could convince me that on chain, but bringing this on chain because of what you just described doesn't make it better than an off chain counterpart, than just a standard Web 2 game that could be exactly the same gameplay, exactly the same, but the fact that you can't, you just have, it's just, trust me, bro, you can't verify that it's actually fair and not fixed on the back end. This is I think it's massive. And when we talk about how large that iGaming industry is, I think you are off on a great start, and I mean, I know there's a lot of variables, but I think it's inevitable. I think you're building in a very exciting space, and I would think only a matter of time before the other that are playing these sort of mini games not on chain and they can't prove it's fair this seems like such a it's a real example of bringing it on chain just makes it better. It really enhances the product.
Completely. No, I completely agree. And I think, that is something that also from the smart contract is completely transparent, because all of these, all the deposit, all the game is completely on chain. And you can see, of course, how much is liquidity is also on the platform. However, I know that there are some bad actors also inside the market, because when we reach out to some communities or some, streamers, they said that, oh, it is only with wallets, because we are adding also social login. They said, okay, maybe it can be a scam, but we are trying, to be full transparent. And during what you were mentioning, we have also the full documentation. I know that maybe 99.9% of the people, they don't care about this, but if you want to learn exactly how Superstake ensure every game is unpredictable while live and fully verifiable on chain, we have the whole documentation here. If you want, you can go through it. You can see that how the math is behind that, and see that how we have run this probability fairness completely on chain. And this is just to bring to make the platform trustless. It's not us that we are telling you that, bro, try our platform, it's fair. It is something that you come here and you can prove it by yourself. You can see the certificate by yourself, and you don't need any middleman here.
We were putting so much effort on this, and we still have. Just a quick flashback when we got accelerated by Outlier Ventures and they were investing on us. The head of product in Outlier Venture was taking care of us and advising us on the product. Now this guy is the head of engineering of Arbitrum Foundation, and we have periodically calls with him. It's really funny also, on a side note, how small is the ecosystem, the Web3 space. People are leaving their jobs and they're covering your role. So in 4 years, we know all the C-levels of Web3 because they are changing, their jobs and they are making their careers. And this guy was complimenting us for this probability system with Horizon Labs and integrating their technology, because it's like, super secure, that we cannot manipulate neither before, after, or during any game the output of the game. So he's advising us. Also, we are working with Arbitrum. We are going through also their audit program. So we are, having another label on top of what we are doing. But it took us a while to arrive to this point. But it's really like interesting, how combining, gaming and Web3, as you said, it's like just a beneficial, right? Any game should have, especially the problem of the black box of casinos is totally solved in this way through blockchain.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on all that you've built thus far. Those relationships are very important and powerful, as you likely already realized. Congrats on the raise. Are you currently raising? Did you just finalize a round? What's the latest on that?
Yeah, while I was in Miami, when we met in Miami, I was leaving the next day for 48 hours and then came back into Miami because I was in New York speaking with our investors. We
Real
got
roadshow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's really interesting how fundraising is a full-time job, and it's sucking my life, and it's really hard to stay on product and both also on fundraising. Now we filled $700,000 over the 2 millions that we are fundraising, and we have really interesting angels. I think I was super lucky to cross my path with these people, especially, Robert Villon, the CEO of Horizon Labs, or the ex-CMO of Fireblocks, or Kenneth Cron from the OG Group. He's the owner of the Cool Cats and, investing on a lot of other, projects, board member of Animoca Brands, and so on and so forth. Most of the people I've met, like these investors, are from New York. So anyone who's fundraising, go to New York. I would definitely move right now to New York if I want to, close the raise like in the next couple of weeks. But we are raising also in Asia. Like it's very important for our target audience to open that that channel. So it's important to have also investors in Asia, because it's not just money, it's like smart money. People are introducing and opening doors and stuff. So right now we have interesting advisors and angels also in Asia. Big shout out to June, the CEO of Memecore. Not many people know about Memecore, but go on CoinMarketCap and check Memecore. It's always, even when Bitcoin is down, Memecore is out.
What do they do? Because I've mentioned it a few times, mainly because it seems like it trades inverted, or the opposite of what the majors are doing. What does Memecore do?
So Memecore, I think they come from these Chinese and Korean communities, South Korean communities. So they are trying, they're really, 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 big there. And I think, what they're trying to build, they were trying to build this. At the beginning, they was trying to build just on the meme and IPs, but at the end, they are building this layer. They call this layer 1 AVM on top of the IPs. They have lots of collaboration with K-pops. When there was, South Korean blockchain week, and they had, they get this stadium. There were lots of, K-pop and different people. So they are really, really OGs, and what they are doing, their main focus is on the Asia and South Korea, and from what I'm understanding, they are really, really big IPs, especially Asian IPs. And also I think that most of the blockchains that they are coming from them, because also we are working with the Sonium, probably, and Sonium also, they are really, really wants to focus on the IPs, because I think Japanese on this Asian culture, they are really big on this kind of aspects. And I think Asian also is a really interesting market in the Web3. Also, we know that now Figgy is trying to go to the Asia now, and trying to also. I remember a couple of 1 year ago, also Luca was going to the roadshow there and trying to distribute the Pudgy IPs over there. I think the concept, probably also in the States, the IPs are really big, and like Disney IPs, all these big IPs. But in Asia, I think that is another concept, or the next level, and how they are valuing these kind of things.
Yeah, it was an eye opener. It was Hong Kong Ape Fest. Ape Fest Hong Kong was the eye opener for me on two, basically exactly what you said. They feel like they're 5 years ahead of us as related to crypto, and not just crypto, but the social acceptance of crypto. It's like you said, smart money. It's real movers and shakers that are deep in this space, not just crypto Twitter. And then on the character IP, it's a like, yeah, we think of Disney and Star Wars and that sort of stuff here. It's an entirely another level over there. And it's not just the Hello Kitty and like the Pokemon. It's not just that. It's from the biggest IP that you might think of to a new fresh startup IP. It seems like they're really, really into character IP, and I could see this sort of stuff really, really hitting over there. So again, congrats on all that you've done thus far. I think you're on the right path, and excited to follow along, excited to support you all. I know we're running a little bit long here, but before, actually, I want to show you one thing just as more of a flyover, and then we'll wrap up. If there's any final comments or anything we didn't get to today, anything you wanted to share, whether it be about Superstake or Gamify, the fighting, anything in general, feel free to hit on anything you'd like. But just on the idea of simple mobile games, and it doesn't have to be a AAA game. I as I mentioned, I'm in like the sports arena as my gaming, in particular fantasy, and I got into like some pretty nerdy sim games for a while. There was the one that went viral yesterday on X, and it was about as simple as you could think. After like the sim was built, or the machine, the game itself was built. It's just called 82.0. So it's 82-0.com. This person said, no idea who made this game, but it's extremely fun and addicting. Thank me later. And it got 3 million impressions yesterday. I guess he posted on June 2nd. I saw it yesterday. And then after I engaged with that, like half my timeline was filled with people that were playing this game. And when I say simple, it's like at the highest level, you get a random team in a decade, and then you have to pick one of those players in a position. And the whole idea is to attempt to build a perfect team. attempt to go 82-0, and that's it. And then so you fill the team, you build it. So I can't. It's position specific, and then it runs a simulation based on your team and the stats, and it's also probably a phase 1, a beta, an alpha. But what was so interesting to me is it wasn't just this game. This game kind of went viral, and you saw a lot of people talking about it and building their teams. If you don't like the team or the error, you got one time to swap it. This is the whole game. What I'm showing you right here. This is the entire thing. But if you didn't like it, let's see if I can move. We'll move KD. It's not gonna let me. There we go. So we can get MJ in there. And then boom, 73-9. That's it. And then so what was interesting to me is not only did this game go viral yesterday, saw not one but two similar versions, like copy pastas that were baseball. I saw another one that was NFL. And again, there's really nothing to it. There's no graphics. It's just people, I think, there's this demand for iGaming. There's not even any money at stake here. That's what we were talking about with Von Frutner and I, where how do we build one? I said build one for like baseball and then monetize it, and you could put like some skin in the game, like even like you're minting these AI fighters for 2 ape. That's like 30 cents. Like it doesn't need to be hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. I think these simple iGames, these simple internet games with a little bit of skin in the game, there's a massive market. It's not just me saying this, as we just talked about. It's about $100 billion industry and growing, but you guys make it better. Like that same example, to tie it all back together, I don't know what's happening on the back end. And there's no, do most people care? No. Most people are just going to go play the game. But if I'm going to continue to play it, or if people are going to dive deep, or especially if you're going to onboard others to create games in your ecosystem, I want to know, is it legit? Like, how is it working? How do I know it's even fair? Or is it just completely random? And I don't know. That's why, like, something like this, I don't think it's got, by next week, everyone will probably forget about it. But I think it's a good proof of concept, while related in the sense that these simple mini iGames can go viral, mega viral, and then you keep swinging the bat, whether it's you all building your own games, or it's you get another client that comes in and builds one and it takes off and it catches lightning in the bottle, so to speak. Then it's the upside's tremendous, because then all the extra eyeballs that you all have on Superstake and Intraverse, it goes through the roof. It's almost how you're building. It almost is like, not free, but like low cost advertising, like the word of mouth. It's not just your user base. You have the potential to where, you could have a dozen communities promoting your platform, because they're within their community, and then one really hits and takes off, and you get that 3 million type impression. It's you gotta start wondering, are we gonna break the servers? I would think. But anyways, I thought relative to this iGaming category and simple fun mobile games, that it doesn't take. I'm not gonna have to sit down and play for 3 hours and maybe get to the first level up of my character, right? I can do the whole thing in minutes or 30 seconds. I think that's going to become increasingly popular. But is there anything that we didn't get to? We'll start with Moritz, and then we'll let Zoe wrap up. Anything that we didn't talk about? Anything you were hoping to share, or just any closing comments in general?
No, I mean, thank you so much for this. I think right now there are lots of fear in the market, and I think just wanted to going back to the market. I think everything is AI, but I think we will have a hopefully comeback in the crypto. Yesterday I was reading, one of the biggest CEO of one of the biggest exchange in in Europe, Cyrus from Swissborg. He was saying that now I'm doubling down on the crypto, because everyone is the fear, and everyone on the crypto is is a complete greed for 100% greed on the AI, I would say, and exactly you were mentioning. So I hope that I know that lots of people are is a little bit down or sad, but I'm we're really confident about about the industry, and hopefully we will get back and we will get to the better moments.
It's spot on. I agree wholeheartedly. And if I knew exactly how it was going to play out, I we'd all be very wealthy. While I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, like it's just like it's easier said than done, right? We can say, hey, you buy dips, you buy bottoms, you buy the low, you buy extreme fear. You don't want to be buying blast off tops, and it's very hard to time tops. It's very hard to time bottoms, but directionally speaking, crypto sentiment is pretty darn low. Maybe not the lowest ever, but it's pretty darn low and seemingly heading the wrong direction. Meanwhile, AI is off the charts, and could it continue to go up? Yeah, but probably not forever. And at some point we'll see, markets are cyclical. At some point we'll see some sort of rotation, hopefully back into crypto. And you don't want to be buying, when things are ripping. And it's not just buying, I think participating, building, like positioning yourself to capitalize on. And I don't know. I mean, I think it very well could be this IPO summer, and after SpaceX and OpenAI and maybe Anthropic, like, is that going to be a liquidity suck and pull maybe even more money out of crypto? Possibly. But then you think about how many, not just millionaires, but multimillionaires, 100 millionaires, billionaires are going to be made off of these major IPOs. What are they going to do then? Like, some, I'm sure, will just double down or triple down on AI. But I think after those major companies, these arguably the most anticipated IPOs in a long time, after that happens, then what? And I'm not saying AI is over. Like, it is really fundamental, world-changing technology. But as far as the valuations and the flight of talent and capital, I would not be surprised that after those IPOs, then and unfortunately, I think we'll see a lot of retail buy the blow off tops, and then get hurt by it. But I do think after those big IPOs, I think is likely when we see a rotation back into crypto. And I think you all are positioning yourselves very good to be in a really good spot if and when that happens. But I think there's a good chance of it. Just when is the big question. Zoe, thanks so much again for both your time today. On your end, any final thoughts, closing words, anything that you were hoping we'd ask you or hoping we'd talk about today that we haven't got to yet?
I think I would like to say, I would like to challenge everyone to be curious, and even if not they are using our platform, just to use AI. And because this is really impressive what you just showed us. I didn't know about this basketball game, but just a random dude out of the blue came out with this, and it's genius. I would take my money. It's like the meme. I would definitely invest on people like that are experimenting, and they're curious, because in the past the main issue was that nobody could develop, and they didn't, especially creators. They could just affiliate to casinos because they couldn't have a development team, liquidity, time to develop their own game. Just imagine the explosion of games, and people will not trust immediately those games because they are made by creators. But if they are combined with the technology of blockchain, and they are probably fair, then it's a bingo. It's just a matter of time that we are really close to get back to crypto, blockchain, Web3. And that's why we truly believe in the technology. The technology is mature, and I'm super bullish. So for anyone listening who wants to create their own game, or just experiment, just do it. Go on any platform that allows you to use any type of tool that lets you create anything. Potentially, now I'm speaking about games because we are doing games, but it can be really anything. And just give it a try and connect it with blockchain, with crypto. It's something that will definitely surprise you how satisfying will be, because now anyone can join the space, the development space. I'm kind of sorry for developers now. A lot of them feel like threatened by AI, but it is what it is, and we are accordingly fixing our teams as well, because now we're using agents as developers as well. And it's a huge cut also in our burn rate and so on and so forth. So AI is changing completely our lives, and I'm super excited to be alive in this period of the world. Like, I'm 33 and living this, it's a revolution. I'm not 12. If I was 12, maybe even at 12 you can actually, create something with AI. I'm not like 5 years old that I cannot, have any access to these kind of, revolutionary tools. So
wild.
I feel super blessed.
Same. And I have a 12-year-old nephew. He's doing this. Like, he's creating with AI. He's
That's crazy.
3D printer. They just left they visited us during my daughter's graduation. They just left today for they're going to Costa Rica for a week or 10 days. And like the day before they flew down to here, he 3D printed a phone case holder that he could put on the back of the seat in front of him and it held his phone or his Switch, so he could watch or play a Switch while he's flying. Now, is that simple? Is that going to turn into $1 million product? No, but just the fact that we live in an era where a 12-year-old can have an idea and by the next morning they have a product in their hands. Like, it gives me chills to think about, like, just the inspiration that and the ability to create, and not just ideate, but actually take an idea to end product in your own home in less than a day is really exciting. I said something very similar yesterday, talking about this whole silly 82-0 basketball game or this morning actually, because I talked about, we should vibe code a baseball version. And then this morning I was like, well, what a time to be alive, where you can talk about an idea and someone else does the thing, they vibe code it by the time you wake up the next day. And, there's been not just one, but multiples. This is, just some screenshots of the baseball version. So it's like, hey, inspired by 82-0, I built a baseball version where you select the players and build a perfect team. Then someone else basically the same thing. I created an NFL version called 20-0 for the football fans out there. Love the idea when expanded to another sport. Like it's wild. Like, it's like, so not only can you, somebody say, well, that makes it more challenging for, there's no barrier of entry and anyone could copy your product. It's like, it's ideas, it's taking shots, it's putting shots on goal. And while these simple games, the examples I gave there, everyone's just doing it for fun. There's no money at stake, and they probably don't care if it's provably fair. What's the engine actually running it to scale and to be something that people are still talking about years from now? They need a solution like what you all have built to have that back end, to build that trust or trustless environment where you're not relying on some guy who vibe coded something on X within 24 hours after seeing a similar product. It's actually, there's actually something real under the hood here. And that might take some time, and it's not going to be every product, but this time we live in, to where you can have a thought or an idea and really build the thing, even if you're not that experienced programmer or dev. It's very exciting. I know we're running a little bit long. Do you have time for one question? I saw Jashaka jumped up on stage and has a hand up. Jashaka GM, appreciate you joining us. You got a question for Zoe or Moritz?
Yeah, GM. Thanks for taking my question. Sorry, my connection been dropping out. I have a question. So we have a game studio. We're building games, right? And of course, you can see the effect of AI getting to exactly what you just said, where when everyone can create a game or create the same game, then it totally dilutes the whole concept, really, to a certain extent, of making games. I think we saw this before AI with Flappy Bird, where when the guy came out with Flappy Bird, there was like hundreds of clones, right? So with AI, this is like multiplied by 1,000, right? So it totally dilutes the concept of being a game creator, right? So, but that's also going to happen to the platforms, right? So what happens when I can just duplicate your platform as well? I mean, Cloud Code today is amazing. Tomorrow, I will be able to copy everything that you've built and run my own, right, for no cost. How do you see that affecting the platforms out there? Like,
Jashaka saying no softballs to wrap things up here. Gonna throw you the hard questions as we end. Great question though. I'm curious the answer.
Yeah. So I think this was a great questions. However, I think when it come up to the AI, so everyone is becoming a builder. The most important thing is scarce. It will be good distribution. So I think everyone can build even the platform. But what is the value of real platform? The value of real platform, it will be the distribution channel. So, the value of the YouTube is not the technology right now, is the creators and is the users over there. The value of the TikTok is the user base, is the distribution. The same as Meta, the same as Instagram. I believe that distribution will become attention will become even more and more scarce. So I think that probably we will pay less I don't know, for the developers, or maybe having a super AI developer that can spawn lots of agents, can make a team of like 10 people. But it will be really difficult to find a CMO or head of growth that can help you in these moments to make you grow. So I think that I'm bullish on the platform, that if you can create it, can create your audience, because the audience are not replicable. You cannot replicate your audience. You cannot build with the AI your audience. And this is my answer. So this is for
Right.
this we are building this
It's the
product.
money thing, right? So if I can create an AI CMO, then it comes down to money. If I have more money than you, I can clone your platform and I can win, right? So
I don't know if it's just money though. I don't know if you can buy the, like we talk about the community they're building. We talk about this community that's very passionate about other side. You could have unlimited funds. I don't think you're going to have that passionate grassroots guerrilla, organic support from a community, that distribution that you could over time, you could do things to bring in users, but I think real, authentic, genuine supporters of your brand, your community, I don't know that can be bought quite as easy.
Yeah, I want to reconnect with what Martin said. I think it's all about community. If there is a copy right now of other side, I don't think I would like to join, even if, because it's other side. It's the same thing with Amazon or Facebook. How many copycats of Facebook came out? But eventually, most of them died. And those who were, were surviving were.
The AI and copied it and made it more fun.
Yeah, that's a great challenge. I would like anyone, to try to do that. And if you can execute better in community and distribution, chapeau, I take off my hat and I congratulate with you, because the most important part is distribution. It's not about creating, the tech, because the tech now is really easy. Anyone can do that. Now the focus will go on distribution. So it will be much more, community focused, and also, in my opinion, in real life events will count much more. They were recently interviewing Jeff Bezos. They were asking what's gonna change in 10 years, because we want to know what's our job, will be in 10 years. And he said the right question is what's not gonna change in 10 years. So we can, focus on that, because AI will replace the rest. And, great, examples of this is, in real life events, community, activities, and, branding. Like, in my opinion, Yuga Board API Club are doing an incredible job. Like, I think nowadays you can join, cool platforms with a game that can be comparable with other side. But why we want to go in other side? Because there's Chris with me, there's Honeybee, there's Machiavelli, there's Squiddy, there's my friends. Community is the key number one, topic here. Distribution, having new users, having the right partnership, this is the right key. Not creating the copycat, but distribute, the copycat. If you are able to do that, then it's perfect. And AI right now is, not at that level of, replacement. Like, they cannot replace that well, distribution, because it matters on the people, the distribution, especially the branding. I really believe in what you guys building around that, and I'm really inspired.
It's
Sometimes
about community is what you guys are saying, right? It's about the community. We'll be able to copy everything, and like you're saying, maybe not today, but what I have seen happen in the past 6 months with Cloud Code is mind-blowing. So where is the next 6 months going to be? Clone anything, clone everyone, right? There will be something you can't duplicate.
My personal relationship with people is, I think it's very hard to clone. But if we arrive at that point, then I think it's cool.
Well, you're right. We can't clone people, so community is the magic sauce. So we're right back to X and the captain.
Yeah, no, I do think, just going back to that example, the silly 82-0 game, like the football, the baseball versions, they were almost identical. They were very much so cloned. They probably went into Claude or Codex and said, hey, recreate this, but use baseball players. There's probably going to be more today. Now, if any of them stick and are they actually win, the variable is who has the best distribution, who has either an existing community or can inspire a new community to build around their product. And this isn't just iGaming. This isn't just this isn't unique to us. This is, I think, in most things, you like the competitive threat of someone duplicating or copying what you're building is more real than ever before. It used to be like people talking like products, like, oh, well, China, we're going to see a knockoff version out of Shenzhen in the next few months. It used to be like physical products. Now it's software, it's gaming. And so I think back to what I said earlier, how y'all are building, and not just your own community, but collaborating with from Cool Cats to Other Side and everything in between. I think this is those who are along for the ride now. I'm guessing there's a much higher propensity that they're still, and the fact that you're focused on retaining those users and working with them and hearing their feedback, they're going to feel much more vested in your platform than the next one that comes along and looks pretty similar, that they didn't have any hand in helping sculpt that and providing the feedback. I don't think that can be underestimated. And I think that's the one thing that can't be copied by AI.
So just one last quick thing, right? So I know about 50 developers. I know that they can build everything. They're building everything. Like they're building the most insane things that have no purpose at all. And they're building things to try and get money. But I believe that what's really missing is a way to like properly get found. Know that we search for everything with the AIs, right? If everybody's building the same thing, the winners are not the ones with the best product or the bigger community. It's the ones that will get found. And how do you get found?
Yeah, I think also I see lots of AI distribution, AI CMOs and this, but let's see where it will bring us. But I think there'll be lots of copy of also this. But it's the next couple of months. It will be really, really interesting, and what's going on. Everyone is becoming a product guy, can build a product. But really, really enjoyed this session, Captain. It was a really, really good session.
Yes, apologies again that we ran up toe to toe against the at the clubhouse. We'll continue to be here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time for the 2 hours. We might take off scheduling guests on Thursdays until they change that time slot, because I know a lot of crossover in the communities, and I don't blame. I was just giving people a hard time. I don't blame them for going and catching that update and seeing what's going there. But I felt bad because we did have not a mass exodus, but there was definitely a handful of people. Machiavelli, shout out to you for still being here and riding with us. I do appreciate that, as well as everyone else in the audience hanging out for the full 2.5 hours today, despite the clubhouse. But really, really enjoyed the time. Really excited about what you're all building, and say it again, how you're building. It's not lost on me, and it's sometimes it's a journey that takes a little longer, where some others might be taking shortcuts. But I really do believe like this foundational layer that you're building is very real, and excited to support it. We'll definitely have to have you back again sometime. I pinned up top, if you haven't yet followed Intraverse, they're on stage. We also have up top pinned is the Super Stake account. There's a post that just came out about an hour ago. Starts with stop playing standard games, prompt it, choose it, and launch it. Go give that post some love. Would appreciate it. And then as I asked before, you get almost a good continuation of this topic as far as like an AI agent infrastructure layer, like helping, like, well, different, very different than today's conversation. Some commonalities in the sense of leveraging AI, not by itself, but then also how do we know that this is real, right? In this case, how do we know that it's a fair game? Tomorrow going to be like, how do we know where this AI agent was created? Who is the accountability layer for an AI agent? And that's part of what at the highest level, part of what Concordium's building. So would love, I know our regulars will be here, but if you're new, you found us today, we do go live every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Usually that first hour of the day is news of the day, trending topics, market update. And then in the second hour, we get into conversations like this, whether scheduled or impromptu, and really, really enjoy it. Very much so a community built show. And often the conversation is led and some great questions today. So really appreciate you all, appreciate everyone who participated. And again, go give the Intraverse accounts a follow. Go give that superstake.fun post up top some love, and we will have Zoe and Moritz back here in the near future. But thanks so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed it. And everyone else, have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.